Gen Zs have increased their online shopping base 2.5 times from 12% to 30%. And millennials, on the other hand, have doubled their online shopping base from 16% to 32%. Thus, and Clubhouse are two important platforms that marketers need to look at. Now, from a marketer's perspective, if you look at what are important aspects, okay, so first is local SEO, which will garner maximum momentum because hyper-local content it has to be focused on when you are actually fulfilling consumer needs on the go. Right?
Welcome to all of you to the brand new episode of Icons Behind Brands video interview series Back to Basics in the Time of Uncertainty, where we are going to have a conversation with some of the leading minds in the business. And today I have got an opportunity to sit with one of the very dynamic and creative digital marketing leader who has a decade of experience in marketing and brand communication, working with some of the big brands. He has won many applauds and awards such as Asia Retail Congress and Marketing Excellence Award, featured amongst the top 100 smartest digital marketing leaders in the country by CMO Asia and Digital World Marketing Congress. Thank you so much for joining us. A warm welcome to you, Mr. Rituraj Bidwai, Head of Digital Marketing, Sobha.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Devlina, for such a nice introduction. And I'm really honored to be part of the Icons Behind Brand series. So thank you so much.
Pleasure having you, Mr. Rituraj. So I'm looking a lot, from the digital marketing perspective to learn from you. Understanding the current scenario, I'm straight away jumping to the question on what is the impact of COVID-19 situation in the past 12-15 months in the industry as a whole, and how do you foresee the situation in next 6 months down the line?
So current pandemic has definitely shaped the consumer thinking and shopping behavior. There are following key aspects we need to keep a watch for. So first is functional purchase drive, and when I'm talking about all industries put together. So first is functional purchase drivers. These will become very important. Consumers will focus mainly on core of the product, and the peripheral benefits will be ignored because tangible value will be given more importance. The second factor which will play an important role is price. It will continue to hold importance in categories such as food, QSR. Consumers are trying to meet ends. So, those categories, especially grocery staples, will become really affected by price as a factor. Third one is brand consciousness. If you look at loyalty towards brand, it will be critical in categories such as healthcare. I talked about staples, I talked about food, QSR, even automobile for that matter. A recent survey showed that consumers who buy staples from known brands went up from 38% to 61%. And online media will be a key influencer in purchase decisions. That particular media, the influence has increased by 10% as compared to pre-COVID time. Last but not the least, accelerated shift towards online digital channels. We have seen how people have taken to digital channels in this pandemic.
What is that one interesting thing which you have done in past 12 to 15 months out of your work?
Okay, very interesting question. So I've started watching a lot of reruns of Shark Tank. So you get a lot of product ideas and how entrepreneurs actually pitch their product. All of that. It's really nice. I think there are around more than 10 seasons. It's really good. I've discovered some great documentaries on Netflix. So one documentary talks about the most extraordinary homes in the world. Then there is one documentary which is Money Explained. There are a couple of podcasts which were a discovery for me. So if you remember, Amazon Prime Video launched a series called Homecoming. Homecoming was actually a podcast series before it became a live series. There are a couple of behavioral science ones that I have discovered as far as podcasts are concerned, and Western countries have done ton of work on this front. And if you listen to those podcasts, you'll be blown away. There are a few podcasts like UX podcasts, the Brainy Business, Nudge, Gary Vee. I'm a huge fan of Gary Vee. Gary Vaynerchuk, who was actually founder of VaynerMedia. Then Action Design Radio and Marketing Scoop podcast. So these are a couple of podcasts that I've started following during this time.
I'll ask about that as well. I mean, I'll come to the podcast section as well, because podcast and books are something which helps you growing every day, and this is the time where everybody, all human beings, we have learned that we have to invest on ourselves. We have witnessed a huge shift in the consumer mindset, in consumer behavior, and in their lifestyle. At the same time, the dynamics of marketing has also taken a big shift. So how do you see the adaptability of new marketing medium as a marketer's perspective here?
And I'll try and answer it in a different manner. So if you look at Gen Z generation, the categories where we have seen an amazing growth is groceries and snacks. These two segments have seen a rise in online fulfillment by more than 3x rate. Okay, makeup and personal care products saw a rise of 40% in its online fulfillment. People are discovering more portals and brands in online space. So that's the reason companies such as Nykaa have focused more on online space. If you look at OTT consumption has seen a meteoric rise in the viewership of these subscribed services. Around 80% of content consumption shifted and remained online during the pandemic. Now, for Gen Z and millennials, both the focus on essential consumption and upskilling is more frequent than non-essential purchases like footwear and apparel, etc. Okay, essential items receives over a third of the share of wallet for the millennial and Gen Z audiences, and spendings in new categories such as content and learning have risen during this period. Now, from a marketer's perspective, if you look at what are important aspects, okay, so first is local SEO, which will garner maximum momentum because hyper-local content has to be focused on when you are actually fulfilling consumer needs on the go. Second and most important will be product quality. It will be a game changer because online reviews really matter in that aspect. If you look at shopping online, that's the third aspect. Now, Gen Zs have increased their online shopping base 2.5 times from 12% to 30%. And millennials, on the other hand, have doubled their online shopping base from 16% to 32% during the lockdown. Now, so for example, if you want to actually cater to your audience in this particular environment, then you have to look at online shopping ads, local inventory ads, curbside pickup ads, etc. All these will be really important. And the most important aspect is virtual becomes the next physical. Right? Nearly 70% of millennials and Gen Z are expressing agreement in likelihood of continuing to subscribe to online education in post-pandemic. So all these aspects are really important from a marketer's perspective.
A lot of shifts, we have identified that we can save a lot more time, when after we can do a lot of things where we don't find it is necessary to go out and, spend your time, right? If you have to advertise only on one medium and platform for next 6 months, what it would be and why?
So it entirely depends on which sector I'm part of. If I'm at QSR food retail sector, if I'm at apparel retail sector, if I'm in automobile sector, or if I'm in education sector, or OTT for that matter. It entirely depends what kind of ROI I'm getting as a marketer for my company, for my products which I'm trying to market. Though I would say that podcasts and Clubhouse are two important platforms that marketers need to look at. Because they seem to be getting a lot of attention, and Clubhouse has very recently been launched in India on Android. So I'm sure there is something there which can be used, but remains to be seen how it can be used.
I think Clubhouse is something which is very new, and we need to learn a lot more about it. How we can leverage that platform.
The best part is that it's all conversations on Clubhouse. So you can go in any meeting, be a silent listener, and exit any meeting whenever you want, and it's all voice based. So you don't have to sit in front of the screen and give attention to it. So I think that is because consumers' attention is reducing. That is the reason podcast and voice-based content is getting more traction.
I completely relate on this, Rituraj. We are spending a huge amount of time in the screen, where we are putting our attention in the screen. So somewhere the screen time fatigue and the online fatigue has come in people's mind, which are the outside forces and trends which are impacting the consumer behavior in your industry.
Well, I would say financial policies such as interest rate of home loan, job earning sentiment in the market, own versus rent. People postpone their decisions. Uncertainty is a lot about their livelihood in future. So these are a couple of factors which are affecting in our industry. If you look at automobile, also I would say similar kind of trend. You can see there people are postponing their decision to buy rather than thinking whether they should buy or not. So yes, and financial policy such as interest rate plays a very important role when consumer sentiment is concerned.
Anywhere where they have to spend more, they are just trying if we can postpone that spend or we can just replace it. I think that is the consumer mindset which is going forward right now.
Right.
Would you like to share some of the tips, tricks, hacks and knowledge point with our aspiring brand managers?
So what I would say is fundamentals trump everything, especially in marketing, I would say, and it is not different in digital marketing also. So what is most important is keeping a very close eye on consumer sentiments. We need to stay focused on understanding audience really well. For example, couple of aspects. What kind of content are they consuming? If your brand fits into the target audience's decision-making process or not. What kind of apps are they using? What kind of apps are actually gaining more momentum? So that gives certain pattern and trends to marketers to actually decipher that when things are going good in this particular space or bad in this particular space, and then accordingly decision can be made. It depends what kind of sector you are in and what kind of psyche the consumer has. If that matches, which is really difficult to do, it takes a lot of time and years of experience. I think marketers need to be just good at that. I think everything else falls in place.
A very thorough understanding of consumer behavior, what they are expecting, what they want to listen from you is very, very important for the brands. I mean, platform could be anything, but it's very important where they spend time, what they want to listen and be empathetic and do what they want you to do. So I think that's
absolutely
mantra which is floating and which is coming very prominently, especially from past 12 to 15 months. We have been just not talking, we've been listening more, I mean, as a brand from the consumers. So it's a huge impact which has happened right now. So Rituraj, we have an interesting section after this, which is the rapid fire section. Okay, so you need to answer in one word. Okay, and probably you can explain afterwards a little more because I would be interested in knowing that as well. So we'll start that. Any one brand which you admire the most apart from your own? One book or podcast you would like to recommend to the marketeer?
Don't Make Me Think by Steve Crook.
Okay. One of your hidden talent?
I'm a big Marvel DC superhero universe fan.
Oh, wow. That's super interesting. One thing about you that surprises people?
Not sure. No one has given me that kind of feedback to me until now.
Okay. And your biggest professional mentor?
So here I won't be able to put one person. There are two people. So one is my the previous organization, my reporting person. His name is Param Bandloi, a really sorted person. Another one is my current reporting manager, who's Sumit Chulkare, who is the Chief Marketing Officer of Sobha Limited.
Okay, awesome. Awesome knowing all these things, Rituraj. So your message to the marketer. So now we are coming out of the rapid fire round, so we can use multiple words now. So your message to the aspiring marketeers, to the brand owners, to the startup owners?
I would say keep an eye on consumer sentiment, stay focused on fundamentals, understand audiences very well. What kind of content are they consuming? If your brand fits into the DC's decision-making process, I would say that is my message to the aspiring brand marketer.
Awesome. So being relevant, the consumer is something which is the most important part. So we have spoke about talking and listening from the brand brand perspective. So this is something which I am admiring the most out of this situation, because every situation gives you something good out of it. So from this situation, we are seeing a very strong advertisings and brand campaigns, because now we are listening more. We used to just put the messages and brands assuming that this is what our consumer need. But now we have opened our ear, eyes, nose, everything open, and we are just consuming what exactly my consumer needed. So that is something which is going to give a revolution to the advertising side, to the brand side, to the marketing side.